I've been using yours all week.
I'm not about to play. About to play. Oh, you say you're playing. Like, man, I'm not about to play. We about to play. Oh, that's what you said.
I'm not playing back up for January.
Oh, okay.
Mostly cardio record. Come on, y'all. Let's pray in, y'all. Get back. We're about to end the rest of the career.
Hey, that's all it can stand. Then it's gonna be over. Get out that camera.
Mute the phone, please. That way. All right, y'all. All minds clear? This is Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 4. Hear, O Yisrael, Yahuwah our Elohim, Yahuwah is one. Shema Yisrael, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah Echad. Exodus or Shemot, chapter 20 at verse 3. We will have no other mighty ones against the Most High. We will not make any carved image or any likeness of that which is in Shamayim above, or which is in the earth beneath, or which is in the waters under the earth. We will not bow down to them, nor serve them. Yahuwah is a jealous El, visiting the wickedness of the fathers on the children, to the third and fourth generation of those that hate him, with showing kindness to thousands of those who love him and keep his commandments. We will not bring the name of Yahuwah in vain. For Yahuwah will not leave us unpunished, who brings his name in vain. We will remember the Shabbat day, to keep it Kodesh. 6 days we will labor and do all our work. But the seventh day is the Shabbat. Yahuwah. For in 6 days, Yahuwah made Shamayim and the earth and the sea and all that is in them, and rested the seventh day. Therefore, Yahuwah Barak the Shabbat day. We will respect our fathers and our mothers, so that our days are long upon the earth. We will not murder. We will not commit adultery. We will not steal. We will not bear false witness against our neighbor. We will not covet anything that is our neighbor.
Father, Yah, we give thanks on this day, the day to gather together, Father, the day to keep set apart, Father, the day to recognize and give reverence unto your name, Father, a day to rest, Father, from all work, a day to cease, Father, a day to be obedient unto your word, Father, the day that marks the covenant, Father, between you and your people. Father, we thank you for this day, Father. We pray for all those who are gathered together, Father, that you will open up the hearts and the minds of your people to receive your word, Father. We pray that your word would be delivered uninhibited, Father, that you would allow it to fall on the good ears and the hearts of your people, Father, that you would allow it to impart wisdom upon each and every one of us, Father. Allow your Ruach to give the understanding according to your word, Father. Allow your Ruach to give utterance unto the speaker according to your word, Father. We pray for any soul who is not here, who is still being transit, Father. You allow them to make it safely. We pray for everybody listening, Father, that you would continue to uplift them and open their eyes and allow them to continue to receive your word, Father, as you see fit. All these things we pray and we give thanks. But Shem Yahuwah and Kaya Hoshua Hamashiach Wakakodesh, so be it.
So be it. I gotta get all that crowd participation with this. All right. All right, y'all. I don't know if y'all remember earlier this week, we posted a song in the inbox. Right? Anybody pay attention to that song? Yeah. Now listen, right? It was nice, right? Yeah. What stood out about their praise and worship that don't stand out in ours?
They were all in.
It was all in, right? What else?
They go music, that tambourine.
Tambourine footstep. Now we ain't got no tambourine. I don't know about no tambourine. Still don't know about the tambourine. Anyway, they was all in, right? Nobody was afraid to praise the Most High. Nobody was afraid to lift their voice up for the Most High. And when we get in the truth, that's a part of that taboo. We look at it as taboo, right? Like, oh man, that's something the church do. We don't want to get into that, right? So if you got some congregations that still sing praise and worship, right? But you got people sitting back and just relaxing, right? It said David danced in what? Right? What would you say?
With all his might.
With all his might, right? Moses sang a song to the Most High in Exodus 15. So why, when it comes to our praise and worship, I know we dealt with this subject before, right? But when it comes to our praise and worship, we like, right? So imagine this. Imagine if YAH put a mute on everybody else but you. Right? And he said, your praise and worship, because your praise is a part of your worship, right? So if he put a mute on everybody else except for you, how would you look? Right? So, I do want to give choices, right? Everybody got to make choices in life, right? This is a little sarcastic, but this is still true. You got a problem with praising. You got a problem with lifting your voice up and singing to the Most High, regardless of how it sounds. I'm not the best singer in the world. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? When we sing it to the Most High, we sing it to the Most High. When we give it praise to the Most High, we give it praise to the Most High. Right? Our praise is our sacrifice. Right? Ain't that what the book say? Our praise is our sacrifice. So we can't neglect that part. So if you got a problem with praising the Most High, you got a problem with lifting your voice up for the Most High. We got two doors, right? Front and rear. You can exit and then come back when we get done. You know what I'm saying? So just keep in mind, and it was a joke, but I'm serious. Right? Keep in mind when we praise the Most High, this is he always watches you. This is a part of your walk. This is a part of what you got to do for the Most High. Your praise and your worship. That's exactly what it is. Everybody done been through something. Everybody done came up out of something. You don't just praise the Most High by saying thank you and that's it. Dude. Right? You show me your action. You show me your walk. So when we do praise and worship from now on, it's something that I want to see. Right? Question 2. Who got faith in here?
Right here.
I know you got faith, brother. You was teaching on last week. That brother got faith. Right? Who else? Brother right there, brother right there. That's just right there. That brother right there in the back. Everybody got faith in here, right? Yes. Sure. No matter what happens. Right? No matter if the bills can't get paid, if If somebody passed away, God forbid, right? You still have to. All right, I got a little song I want to sing if y'all let me sing a little song. You know what I'm saying? Look, little song. I can sing a little song. All right? Let me see how this one goes. It says, if the world misused you, woo, and lay it to the side, don't get discouraged. Somebody ask you why. Because Yah, He will provide. Woo! I see what I'm going with that? I'm saying it again. I said when this world misused you and lay it to the side, don't get discouraged.
I hear you, Trav.
Because He will provide. Say it with me. Because He will provide. One more time, y'all say, He will provide. Everybody say it, come on. He will provide. Come on, say, He will provide. One more time, y'all sing. He will provide. If you get a little weary and your feet get tired. And Brother Lee said it's a walk, right? This ain't no sprint, it's a marathon, right?
That's right.
And your feet get tired. What do you think is supposed to do?
Don't get weird.
Don't get weird.
Don't get weird.
You better keep on walking.
All right, Trav.
Why?
Because
He will provide. One more time, y'all say, He will provide. Do you feel it, y'all say, He will provide. Keep on singing. He will provide. He will provide. If there's no food on your table, woo, and your well ran dry, you better get down on your knees and pray.
all right, Trav.
Because He will provide. Because He will provide. Ask Abraham. He will provide. When we was in the wilderness. He will provide. Ask Jerusalem. He will provide. Ask Israel. He will provide. Woo! He will provide. He will provide. If you got a little heartache, I said if you got a little heartache, and you wanna cry, He gon' wipe your tears away. 'Cause He will provide. He will provide. I believe in Him. He will provide. I never doubt Him, y'all. He will provide. I've been there. He will provide. And I thought my family wasn't gonna eat. He will He will provide. God, He will provide.
Hallelujah. My brother. I'm talking about Trav. Good job, my brother.
Huh? We can sing another one if y'all want to, man. We'll save it to the end. We'll save it to the end.
We got all night.
All right. Now, how you hold your head when you see that? All right. So, Toda YAH. We talking about YAH providing, right? We look at a father figure or a husband in the home and holding that position, right? Somebody you can lean on as a spiritual father, or anybody that'll hold that type of weight inside of your home or inside of your life that'll provide for you, right? That won't let you go without, right? That if something happened, they right there for you. You know what I'm saying? You think about them providing food, shelter, water, and what else? Clothes. What else? Wisdom. What else? I'm looking for something specific. Guidance. What you say? Protection. Right? That's what we're going to be dealing with today. Protection. Will YAH protect you? Right? Is it a stipulation to his protection over you? What's the stipulation? Obedience, law. What won't he protect you from? If anything. Is there anything that he can't protect you from? Say that again. That's exactly right. That's the only thing that YAH can't protect you from. Is you. He can, let's get into it. Get 1 Corinthians 10:13. He can, matter of fact, don't go there. 2 Thessalonians 3:3. He can protect you from a whole heap of things. All right? A whole heap of things. But he can't. He won't protect you from yourself. So let's look at some stuff before we get into that. You got the Thessalonians?
Yes.
Go get Genesis chapter 2.
2 Thessalonians chapter 3 and verse 3. But the master is faithful, who shall establish you.
Who shall do what?
Who shall establish you.
Who shall establish you or protect you. Read.
And keep you from evil.
And do what?
And keep you from evil.
What does that word keep mean? To guard, right? 2:15. So he said he's gonna keep you from evil, right? What do you think evil is? What's evil? Ashatan? Okay. Anything contrary to the law, right? Breaking the law, right? So a lot of people categorize evil as whatever they want it to be. But when we're looking at what the scriptures is talking about as far as evil and wickedness, these are things that work contrary to the law, right? Genesis 2:15. There you go.
Genesis chapter 2 and verse 15. And YAH Elohim took the man and put him into the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it.
To dress it and to do what?
To keep it guarded.
So like, I don't know if that was you or you. One of the brothers brought out when he was talking about to keep the garden, it was to, I think that might have been you, to protect the garden, right? Right? So what was the protection? What did he use? What was the protection from the garden? What did Yah give him as a tool of protection? Because Yah created the garden himself, right? Planted it, the whole nine. And where did he put Adam at? In the midst of it, right? So would something that Yah created be able to be breached and void of protection? Yes, no? You think so? What you say? You say no? Say yeah? So something that he created, can it be breached or void of protection? So when we talking about protection, what type of protection are we talking about again? When he says he'll protect you from evil, from things that are what? That's contrary to the law, right? So when he set Adam in the midst of this garden, he was putting him into a quote unquote hedge of protection, if you will, right? So now, what did he in turn tell Adam to do? Protect the garden. I'll protect you, you protect the garden. Make sense? All right? Keep reading up.
And Yahuwah Elohim commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden you may freely eat.
Every tree of the what?
Every tree of the garden you may freely eat.
Now remember, we was talking about how the commandments are wisdom, right? Right? So when he tells Adam, you can freely eat, this is what he commanded him. You can freely eat from any other tree in the garden. But what?
But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you shall not eat of it.
You shall not do what?
Eat of it.
You shall not eat of it. So when he's saying this, is this a form of protection?
Yep.
How? What is he protecting them from? Keep reading.
For in the day that you eatest thereof, you shall surely die.
You shall surely what?
Die.
He said, don't eat from this one because the day that you eat it, you're going to die. Now, what's this? What we think in our minds that, oh, well, you know, it was just temptation in the middle of the garden, blase, blase. How many of y'all know what was on the tree? Or what the tree was filled with? That tree in the midst of the garden was filled with what? Fruit, he said, but what else? Oh yeah, the knowledge of good and evil, right? I didn't hear you say it. I didn't hear my bad. The knowledge of good and evil, right? So, would he be trying to protect them from the good? What would he be trying to protect them from? The evil, right? So he says, you get in here, and now you protect the garden. You guard this garden. So now, what did he do after that? He gave him a woman, right? So, as a form of protection to his wife, what was he supposed to do? Teach her the same thing, right? Protection. Now, think about you and your kids, right? And you say, don't touch that outlet because what? You get electrocuted, right? So, is that a form of protection? But we as parents take it a step further and do what when they start going over there towards that outlet? You go grab them before they get there, right? Is it at any time that you say, okay, go ahead and touch it, see what happens to you? Right? Y'all do that?
No.
You do that? You let him touch the outlet? I might have to CPS. You still grab them, right? You don't let them touch the outlet, right? What happens if you tell them on a smaller scale, hey, don't grab that food off the table because it's hot. Don't put your finger in that food because it's hot. We'll take it a step lighter. Don't eat that piece of chicken because it got hot sauce on it. Right? Now, is that a form of protection? What you protecting them from? Burning their mouth, right? Right? Now, is it a point in time that you will say, you know what? You don't think fat meat greasy. Go ahead and bite that chicken. Don't let them do that, right? And then when they burn their mouth, I told you, right? So think about it in that scenario, right? So YAH protecting Adam. He's put it on Adam to protect his wife. Everybody got protection flowing around here, right? But then who up and comes into the garden? The serpent. Read what you got again, Adam.
But the master is faithful, who shall establish you.
He said the master is faithful. He gonna do what he gonna do, right? To establish you and to do what?
And keep you from evil.
He gonna guard you from evil, right? So when this serpent came up and came into the garden, did he put his hands on Adam? Nope. Did he put his hands on Eve? Did he try to snatch him up? Did he pull out a spear? So was this a reason for YAH to go down there and grab up Adam and say, hold on, man, don't touch that plug? Was this that type of situation? No. When he told him when he told us he's gonna protect us from the evil one, what was he using to protect us? His commandments. Right? Get Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 6. Oh, what you got there in Genesis? Get Proverbs 4 and 6. I think that's good. Start at verse 5.
Proverbs chapter 5. Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 5. Get wisdom.
Get what?
Get wisdom.
Wisdom and the commandments are what? One and the same, right? Get wisdom and do what?
Get understanding.
And do what?
Forget it not.
He said, don't what?
Forget it not.
Don't forget it when you get it, right? Somebody just did a lesson talking about this. Buy the truth, sell it not. Right? Read.
Neither decline from the words of my mouth.
Neither decline from what?
From the words of my mouth.
YAH actually commanded Adam and said what he told him, right? Read.
Forsake her not.
What's the forsake her? What's the her he talking about? Wisdom, right? Forsake her not, and what?
And she shall preserve you.
She said what?
Preserve you.
What is that word? What's another word for the word preserve?
Save.
She shall save you. And what else?
Love her.
Uh-huh.
And she shall keep you.
Love her, or love his commandments, and she shall do what? Keep you, guard you, protect you. Right? So had Adam and Eve only just kept this command, they would have been what? Protected. So we understand that. Get the Genesis 3. 3 and 1.
Genesis chapter 3 and verse 1. Now the serpent was more slick than any beast of the field.
He was more slick than any beast of the field, right? Read.
which Yahuwah Elohim had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, have Elohim said, You shall not eat of the tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Elohim have said, You shall not eat of it.
Protection. Read.
Neither shall you touch it, lest you die. And the serpent said unto the woman, You shall not surely die. For Elohim do know that in the day that you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as Elohims, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes,
what she do?
And the tree to be desired to make one wise.
To make one what?
Wise. She took of the fruit thereof and did eat.
So, what did she just step outside of? Protection. Because now she's susceptible to death. Right? Keep reading.
The fruit thereof, and took and did eat, and gave also to her husband with her.
Now, when she said she gave also to her husband, that was what?
With her.
That was what?
With her.
Did anybody notice it said that Adam was with her when she took of the fruit? Right? He was there. He was there when she was talking to the serpent. He was there when she ate. Oh, go ahead, baby. Give me a P. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but it said that she took and gave to her husband that was with her. Proverbs 4:6 said what?
Forsake her not, and she shall preserve you.
Forsake her not, and she shall preserve you. She gonna save you. Verse 5 again.
Get wisdom. Get understanding.
Yeah.
Forget it not.
He said, don't what?
Forget it not.
You forgot his law. You forgot his command. You forgot his wisdom. You just stepped outside of his protection. Read it.
Neither decline from the words of my mouth.
Don't decline from these words that I'm telling you. Right? Because she's there to keep you, to protect you. So now read where you at up.
With her husband, with her, and he did eat.
And he ate too. So both of them then stepped right outside of YAH's protection. He could save them up to the point that they decided in themselves that they were going to eat. Make sense? Get Isaiah 41, verse 10. So we see the protection off the jump. Start at verse 9 when you get there. Matter of fact, verse 7. Sorry.
Isaiah 41 and verse 7. So the carpenter encouraged the goldsmith, and he...
Oh, sorry, I'm tripping. Isaiah 40 and verse 7. I'm sorry.
Isaiah chapter 40 at verse 7. The grass withers, the flower fades, because the ruach of Yahuwah blows upon it. Surely the people is grass.
Surely the people is what?
It's grass.
It says the grass do what in verse 7?
Withers.
The grass wither. Right? Read.
The grass withers, the flower fades, because the ruach of Yahuwah blows upon it. Surely the people is grass. The grass withers, the flowers fades, but the word of our Elohim shall stand forever.
So if he had just not forgot the word of the Most High, Adam would have been Gucci. He'd have been straight, right? Read.
O Zion, that brings good tidings, get you up into the high mountain. O Jerusalem, that brings good tidings, lift up your voice with strength. Lift it up, and be not afraid. Say unto the cities of Judah, behold your Elohim.
Verse 10.
Behold the Master Elohim. will come with strong hand.
With a what?
With strong hand.
Now this is with him actually physically doing something. So we see another type of protection, right? Read.
And his arm shall rule for him. Behold, his reward is with him, and his work before him.
Isaiah 41:10.
Isaiah 41 and verse 10. Fear you not, for I am with you.
He said, fear you not, for I am what?
I am with you.
I am with you. Read on.
Be not dismayed. Strengthen you. Yea, I will help you. Yea, I will uphold you with the right hand of my righteousness. Behold, all they that were incensed against you.
You good on there. You good on there. So we see the protection that he gave when he gave us the commandments. And we also see where he actually said, I'm coming to get you together, right? We're going to get into this in a little minute. Get Psalms chapter 5 and verse 11.
The book of Psalms chapter 5 and verse 11. But let all those that put their trust in you rejoice. Let them ever shout for joy, because you defend them.
Because you do what?
Because you defend them.
You defend them. Read.
Let them also that love your name be joyful in you.
So when he says, let them also that love your name be joyful in you, what is that talking about? What that's talking about? Anybody know? When he said, let them that love your name be joyful in you. We done taught on it a bunch of times. We should know.
Follow the law.
Following the law. What does it mean to love Yahuwah's name? Yeah, but what does it mean to love his name? Follow his commandments? Not really.
Who is the name?
Love his son. All right, that's important. When it says the name of Yahuwah come from far, and it do this and it do that, right? That's important to know what the name is, right? It's Psalm 57 and 1.
Psalms chapter 57 and verse 1. Be merciful unto me, O Elohim. Be merciful unto me, for my soul trusts in you.
It said, for my soul trusts in you, right? Read on.
Yea, in the shadow of your wings.
In your shadow of your what?
Of your wings.
In the shadow of your what?
Wings.
In the shadow of your wings, what?
Will I make refuge.
Will I make what?
Refuge. Until these calamities be overpassed.
Now, what is he talking about? Where could he possibly have gotten this from? He says, be merciful unto me, O Elohim, be merciful unto me, for my soul trusts in you. Right? Then he says, in the shadow of your wings, I make my refuge. Where could this possibly come from? You got to be referencing something. What about the law? What about the law? Anybody know? He says, in the shadow of your wings. Did anybody give me anything concerning the law that deals with wings? Say it again. He bear you on eagle's wings. Exodus 19 and 4. What else? Exodus 19:4. So he says, "For my soul trust in you, yeah, in the shadow of your wings will I make my refuge." Anybody else know anything in the law that possibly has some wings, shadowing something, covering something? Say it again. What about the Ark of the Covenant? Maccabees come in here cheap, man. Oh, okay. He was told in already. So he says, I will make, he says, in the shadow of your wings, I will make my refuge until these calamities be overpassed. So we got Exodus 19:4. Read what you got there.
Exodus chapter 19 and verse 4. You have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bear you on eagle's wings.
When I did what now?
Bear you on eagle's wings.
So when he brought them through the sea, he says, I bore you on what now?
On eagle's wings.
On eagle's wings. So right here in Psalms 57, where he says, in the shadow of your wings will I make my refuge until these calamities be overpassed. What calamity could have been going on around the time they went through the sea? What was going on? Like what? What was happening? They was running from getting killed, right? Say, look, he bore us up on the wings until all of those Egyptians was done, right? What else did you say? What else in the law shows? Exodus 25:20. Go there right quick.
What you say is reach. Shemot chapter 25 and verse 20. And the cherubim shall stretch forth their wings on high.
Read the verse before.
Verse 19. And make one cherub on the one end, and the other cherub on the other end.
Matter of fact, read up at verse, start at verse.
17.
Yep, start at verse 17.
Verse 17. And you shall make a mercy seat of pure gold. 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and 1.5 cubits the breadth thereof. And you shall make 2 cherubim of gold, of beaten work shall you make them in the 2 ends of the mercy seat, and make 1 cherub on the one end.
Do anybody know what the mercy seat was used for? Say it again. Atonement. Right? That's key. It's used for atonement. What else? What else was the mercy seat used for? It was something very significant with the mercy seat. What happened with the mercy seat? This is the place where Yah would come down to be amongst the children of Israel. Right? That's a very significant thing dealing with the mercy seat. But keep reading though.
And make 1 cherub, verse 19, and make 1 cherub on the one end, and the other cherub on the other end.
So you got 2 cherubs. You got the mercy seat. You got 1 cherub on this end. You got 1 cherub on this end. Right? Read.
Even of the mercy seat shall you make the cherubim on the 2 ends thereof.
Yeah.
And the cherubim shall stretch forth their wings.
They shall do what?
Stretch forth their wings.
So they're going to stretch forth their wings. Right? Go ahead.
On high. Covering the mercy seat with their wings.
Doing what?
Covering the mercy seat with their wings.
Covering the mercy seat with their wings. What is this creating for the mercy seat? A shadow. Right? So when he says that being in the shadow of your wings, where directly would he be? With who? With Yah. In the presence of the Most High. In complete protection. Right? And again, significantly, the mercy seat was dealt with heavily when it came to atonement. Right? That's another story. We'll get into that on another day. Right? But go back to Psalms 51. It was 57 and 1.
Psalms 57 and verse 1. Be merciful unto me, O Elohim. Be merciful unto me, for my soul trusts in you. Yea, in the shadow of your wings will I make my refuge until these calamities be overpassed. I will cry unto Elohim Most High, unto Elohim that performs all things for me. He shall send from Shamayim and save me.
He shall send from Shamayim and do what?
And save me.
And save him from what?
From the reproach of him that would swallow me up. Selah. Elohim shall send forth his mercy and his truth.
So the Most High gonna protect you, right? This is just what we showing. We going through. We showing the Most High is gonna protect you. He gonna protect. He said he'll protect you from the evil, right? He tried protecting Adam in the garden, but he couldn't protect Adam from who? From himself. He couldn't protect Eve from who? From herself. Right? Get Psalms chapter 9. We'll hit a couple more of these. Verse 1.
Psalms chapter 9 and verse 1. I will praise you, O Yahuwah, with my whole heart. I will show forth all your marvelous works.
It said he gonna praise him with his whole heart. I think we did that today. I know I did for sure. Right? Go ahead.
I will be glad and rejoice in you. I will sing praise to your name. O you Most High. When my enemies are turned back, they shall fall and perish at your presence. For you have maintained my right and my cause. You sat in the throne judging right. You have rebuked the heathen. You have destroyed the wicked. You have put out their name forever and ever.
Verse 9.
Verse 9. Yahuwah also will be a refuge for the oppressed.
He'll be a what now?
A refuge for the oppressed.
He's gonna be a refuge, a protection, a place to go to for protection. Read.
A refuge in times of trouble. And they that know your name.
And they that know your what now?
Your name.
That keeps coming up. They that know your name. Is it just saying that people know the name Yahuwah? There's a lot of people in the world that know the name Yahuwah, right? But do that mean that they're going to be saved? Do that mean they're going to be protected? No. Read.
Yahuwah also will be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. Your name will put their trust in you. For you, Yahuwah, have not forsaken them that seek you.
He said, you have not forsaken them that seek you. Jump over to 2 Kings chapter 6. Just talking about this protection. Pick it up at verse 1.
2 Kings 6 and 1. And the sons of the prophet said unto Elisha, behold, now the place where we dwelt with you is too strait for us. Let us go, we pray, unto Jordan, and take there every man a beam, and let us make us a place there where we may dwell. And he answered, go you. And one said, be content, I pray you, and go with your servants. And he answered, I will go. So he went with them, and when they came to Jordan, they cut down wood. But as one was filling a beam, the axe head fell into the water, and he cried and said, alas, master, for it was borrowed. And the man of Elohim said, where fell it? And he showed him the place. And he cut down a stick and cast it in there. And the iron did swim.
And the iron did what?
Did swim. Therefore said he, take it up. And he put out his hand and took it.
So basically, look, they making axes, right? It's a war going on at this point in time. They making axes, and his axe head fell into the water, right? Oh man, I don't know what happened to it, right? So he didn't have his quote unquote form of protection, right? So he was worried. So the man of the Most High threw the stick in there, and the iron swam to it, right? And pick that thing up out the water, man. Quit tripping, right? Now we've been talking about faith a whole lot. When we talking about protection and things of that nature, one of the key components of that protection has to deal with your faith and your belief. So he grabbed it up out the water. Read on.
So he went, verse 8. Then the king of Syria warred against Israel and took counsel with his servants, saying, in such and such a place shall be my camp.
Yeah.
And the man of Elohim sent unto the king of Israel, saying, beware that you pass not such a place, for there the Syrians are come down. And the king of Israel sent to the place which the man of Elohim told him, and warned him of, and saved himself there, not once nor twice. Therefore the heart of the king of Syria was sore troubled for this thing.
So he was pissed because he like, man, I'm trying to get at him over here and over here, and every time I go there, they're not there. Right? Read.
Therefore the heart of the king of Syria was troubled for this thing. And he called his servants and said unto them, will you not show me which of us is for the king of Israel?
And which one of y'all ratted me out? Y'all the only ones in here that I told where we was going to be. Which one of y'all rocking for Israel? Right? Read.
And one of his servants said, none, my master, O king, but Elisha, the prophet, that is in Israel.
Now, the people that were with Elisha, right? Did they have any idea that the Most High would put that on Elisha to protect them from the king of Syria? Did they have any idea? Huh? No, this was something that the Most High did with Elisha, right? Read on. Let's go make sense in a second. Keep reading.
And one of the servants said, none, my master, O king, but Elisha, the prophet that is in Israel, tells the king of Israel the words that you speak in your bedchamber. And he said, go and spy where he is.
He said, he tell him what you be saying while you pillow talk.
Right.
Right? Read on.
And he said, go and spy where he is, that I may send and fetch him. And it was told him, saying, behold, he is in Dothan. Therefore sent he there horses and chariots and a great host. And they came by night.
So now they like, we about to go get him. He stopping us from being able to get at Israel, the king of Israel. We got to go get this guy. Right? Read.
And compassed the city about. And when the servant of the man of Elohim was risen early and gone forth, behold, and host compassed the city both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, alas, my master, how shall we do?
Now when he go up, he wake up early. Remember, they haven't been in a situation where they had to fight at this point, right? Because they going here, they going there. The army of Syria is going at this place and that place, and they not there, right? So when he get up in the morning and he go out and walk, he see all these people around. Do you think he was afraid? When it says, alas, my master, how shall we do? How you think he said that to him? How you think he asked him about that? Was it in fear? Or was it in confidence? It was in fear. Man, these dudes out here with guns and bazookas and machetes. What we gonna do? Right? Read.
He answered, fear not.
He answered what?
Fear not.
Why? What's the reason why he said fear not? They had YAH, right? They was protected. He tell them, like, look, man, I'm the one who been sending these guys. I mean, I'm the one who been getting people from here to there and not getting caught up by these guys, getting killed. So you gonna come at me scared? Fear not. Right? Read.
And he answered, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them.
Huh? How would he know that? Why would he say that? He said, don't be scared, man. We outnumber them. Huh? He wasn't judging by sight. He didn't even see him out there, right? Read.
And he answered, verse 17. And Elisha prayed and said, Yahuwah, I pray you, open his eyes that he may see.
So he said, now, was this man blind? This man was completely functional 20/20 vision. He the one who came and said all these people out there. Right? So he says, I pray you that you do what now?
Open his eyes that he may see. And Yahuwah opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha.
Now, what did he open his eyes to see? Malachim, right? What you scared for, man? What y'all show me, man? You know what I'm saying? Right? He looking with his physical eye. He going, oh my goodness, man, we about to get smashed out. What we gonna do? Hey, y'all show this boy, man. Right? He let him see into the spirit. He let him see the Malachim that was around him. Man, we protected. Right? This is the type of stuff that when you in this particular situation, are you going to be the one that's scared and say, man, what am I going to do? Or are you going to look at this situation and say, man, I'm confident that the Most High is going to protect me. What's that verse that you went to last week about the fears in Revelation?
Oh, Revelation 21:8.
Go there right quick. Now, that was the protection that YAH had surrounding them, right? What's the only thing that could have made that a bad situation? If they doubted, or if they didn't believe, or if he was still scared. That's the only thing that could have shifted that to make it where they wasn't protected. Read what you got.
Revelation chapter 21 and verse 8. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and the murderers and the whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death.
He said, I didn't give you the spirit of fear. Right? So when this thing is popping off and he see all of these people around you, just think of these things as obstacles in your life. Right? We ain't seen no war come around our house right now. I mean, at times, we ain't gonna talk about all that, right? But look at these as the obstacles that's in your life, right? You got this over here, you got that over here. You're going through this over here, you're going through that over there. How much faith do you got that YAH is protecting you and gonna keep you through the storm, through the war, and gonna bring you out on the other side? Right? Do you believe that he's protecting you? The only thing that he can't protect you from is what? Yeah. So if you still in fear after knowing what you know about these scriptures, you in danger. If you still don't see that he gonna bring you out and show you the light, you are in danger. I was in this position not too long ago, right? But ask my wife, did I ever lose my faith? Absolutely not. Every day it was, y'all got us. Even when you think about worrying, y'all got us. Right? Because that faith can't even waver. As soon as it's, oh man, is he with me? What did I do to get like this? What did it? You wavering. Right? Now he can't step in and do what he said he was going to do. Because he told you to have faith and work and don't waver. Right? Let's go back to that 2 Kings chapter 6 right quick. So let's see what happened. Now he got the muscle there, right? He got the Malachim there, right? Fiery chariots, the whole nine. What was that? 6 and verse 17. Read that again.
2 Kings chapter 6 and verse 17. And Elisha prayed and said, Yahuwah, I pray you, open his eyes that he may see. And Yahuwah opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountains was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto Yahuwah and said, smite this people.
How much faith is that? Right? Do you got enough faith? Like he said, like Mashiach told the disciples, if you got this type of faith, you will be able to move a mountain out of its place. How many of y'all really believe that? Right? So if he said that this type of faith can move a mountain out of its place, what could that do for our issues that we're dealing with right now? Feel what I'm saying? Everybody go through a storm. It's how you weather the storm that shows you if Yah's with you or not, or if you're going to accept Yah being with you or not. Right? Read on.
Elisha prayed unto Yahuwah and said, smite this people, I pray you, with blindness. And he smote them with blindness according to the word of Elisha. And Elisha said unto them, this is not the way, neither is this the city. Follow me, and I will bring you to the man whom ye seek. But he led them to Samaria.
So not only did these people come against him, but Yah put these people into his hands. He could do with them whatever he wanted to at this point in time. Right? He could do what to them. They was blinded. And they listened to him. Hey man, it ain't over here. Y'all come over here. I'll show you where y'all going. What can they do? Nothing. And they didn't, he could have killed him, right? He could have used the Malachim. They could have killed him right at that moment. But his protection ain't always there for him to have to step in and deal with your problems to that degree. But for you to believe enough for him to give you that little piece that you need to handle it yourself. Protection, right? Get on Psalms 34 and 19.
Psalms chapter 34 and verse 19. Many are the afflictions of the righteous.
Say that one more time.
Many are the afflictions of the righteous.
Few are the afflictions.
Many are the afflictions of the righteous.
Do y'all really understand what this verse is telling you? I mean, really like fathoming what he's saying right here. Read it one more time.
Many are the afflictions of the righteous.
How many of y'all been afflicted before? How many of y'all being afflicted right now? He says, many are the afflictions of the what now?
Of the righteous.
The only thing with the righteous and the wicked, because he said he let it rain on the just and on the unjust. Am I right? So when the righteous is going through this affliction, what they not going to do? They not going to waver. Job didn't waver. How many of us went through everything Job went through? How many of us even got close? Nah. He ain't wavered. How many of y'all that how Shaitan come to you and put a bunch of balls on you? Kill your kids. Take your money. Right? Leave you by yourself. Have your wife telling you to go against the Most High. How many of y'all went through that? How many of y'all went through the people coming at you and trying to kill you for the word of the Most High? How many of y'all went through actually getting beat down for the word of the Most High? Anybody? Show of hands. So what in the world can we take from this, knowing that we didn't go through the half of the stuff that the people went through in here? This is more than enough ammunition for you to fight through your battles, for you to move that mountain. But you got to make sure that you believe. Me and B and Quad, we all was in the inbox, right? And what was the question you posed, Doc?
There was a pastor had supposedly healed this girl of scoliosis, and her leg looked as if it grew.
Live in real time, it did look like that.
It looked like it grew. And so my question was like, we supposed to be able to do this? Like, what's stopping us from being able to do this kind of stuff?
So that was the question. Now, whether it was true or not, whether it was real or not, right? The fact of the matter is we supposed to have the faith to be able to make it real. Make sense? So, what was the conclusion that we came up with? It was a what? A lack of faith. Now, it says that the master is faithful to do those things that he promised us, right? So is it a lack of faith on his end? No, not at all. Whose end is it a lack of faith on? Yours. If something ain't moving for you, that means you got to strengthen your faith, because he told you, I'm going to be there to do this for you. He told you, whenever you need it, I'm going to be there for you. The song we sang earlier said, Yah will provide. He's not slacking his word. He never go back on anything that he told us, ever. I don't expect him to now. So you got to weather the storm and actually believe, not think, not say, oh man, he might. Oh man, I wish he would. Man, if he did, you know that type of faith where you say, man, well, if he do bring me out of this, man, shoot, I'll be so happy. Be so glad if he do this. What's the problem with that? Yeah. Huh? What did Elisha just say? Man, open his eyes, man. Yeah, smite him with blindness. Yeah, if you can please. Just blind these dudes for me. And then he go back to my man like, yeah, y'all might blind them, so we might be good. We might be straight. You know what I'm saying? No. Never. When Moses and the children of Israel got to the sea and the Egyptians was behind them and they was tripping, Moses, what are we going to do? He brought us out here to die. Moses, oh man, the Most High, he might hook us up. I don't know. No. He lifted that staff up and said what he said to split the sea. Yeah, right? How many of us got that type of faith? Right? Get Psalms chapter 20 at verse 1. Exactly. Like B was just saying. He said this is the reason why faith got to be exercised. Right? The first time you see a miracle or what, you know, you might not believe it. Right? Remember with Pharaoh, his people, his sorcerers and all that was doing the same thing that Moses was doing at first. Right? But it took time after time after time for him to, oh, this dude ain't playing. This for real. This God is for real. I got to let him go. Right? So on the children of Israel side, when you see all of these afflictions popping off on your behalf, that's supposed to make you believe to the utmost. But now he ain't like that. Because when he showed us those miracle after miracle after miracle after miracle, it still didn't help. We still doubted. So now he says, blessed are those, or increased are those that believe and haven't seen. Them the ones that got real faith. Right? But if you can't work that faith out in your own individual life, the things that you go through here on this earth, how in the world can you look him in his face and say, Father, I believe in you? Because that's what a lot of people are going to try to do when he cracked the clouds, right? Oh, I believe now. It's too late. Psalms 20 and 1.
Psalms chapter 20 and verse 1. Yahuwah, hear you in the day of trouble.
Let's stop right there. He says, Yahuwah do what now?
Hear you in the day of trouble.
Do it say that he kind of listens? When you in your trouble, when you in your having your issues, whatever you got going on, and you bring that thing to him, it says that he what? He hear you. What's causing him not to act for you? Is it him or is it you? That's the thing you got to ask. Is it me or is it him? And no matter how long the time will span, your issue could be dealing with you for a year. It can be going on with you for the sister that had the issue of blood. Right? Give me that. Let's go to it. That's Matthew 13. Hold on, let me see. Matthew 5? Matthew 5 and what? Let's get it. That's not that. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Matthew 9? 9 and what?
9 and 20.
9 and 20. Let's get that. Matthew 9 and 20.
The book of Matthew, chapter 9 and verse 20.
Oh, what you got there? Oh, before you read that, I can get Malachi chapter 4. And then we're gonna jump over to Revelations chapter 12. Verse 2.
Malachi 4 and 2. But unto you that fear my name.
It said, but unto you that do what?
Fear my name.
Dang, that's the third time this done came up, right? Matter of fact, start at verse 1.
Malachi chapter 4, verse 1.
Yeah.
For, behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly.
All that do what now?
Wickedly.
All that do wickedly. Read.
Shall be stubbled, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahuwah of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch.
It's going to leave them neither what?
Root nor branch.
It's going to burn them all the way up, right? Read.
But unto you that fear my name.
It's a stipulation. He said, but to you that do what now?
That fear my name.
That fear my name. Read on.
And shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings.
Shall do what now?
Arise with healing in his wings.
So when the Son arises with healing in his wings, now what is that wings? What do that wings take us back to? The protection, right? We also, when we look at the definitions, it brings us back to talking about the tzitzis or the fringes, right? On the bottom of the garment, right? So it says, when he arrives with what?
With healing in his wings.
With healing in his wings, read.
And ye shall go forth and grow up as calves in the stall.
Read on.
And ye shall tread down the wicked.
You shall do what now?
Tread down the wicked.
Tread down the wicked. Go ahead.
But they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet.
Now, we see this in Malachi, right? Let's get over here and read Matthew chapter 9. Now, The law and the prophets are written at this point in time that we read right here in Matthew chapter 9, right? Right? Okay. Matthew chapter 9. Now we see which prophecy we just read, right? When the sun arise with healing in his wings, you're going to be this, that, right? Matthew chapter 9 and verse 20. Let's see what happens.
And behold, a woman which was diseased with an issue of blood 12 years.
How long?
12 years.
How many of y'all went through something this drastic for 12 years, for this long? The situation that you're in right now, has it been for 12 years? Right? That's a long time for this woman to be dealing with this, right? Right? How is 12 years of being in whatever situation you was at your worst, is that enough to get you away from Yahuwah? Is that enough to make you say, man, I ain't dealing with this truth no more? Because all this stuff these people be preaching, it ain't happening for me. I've been going through this for 12 years. I only been in the truth for 13. If this Yahuwah was real, why he keeping this on me? Right? So she done went through this for 12 years. Read.
And behold, a woman which was diseased with an issue of blood 12 years came behind him and touched the hem of his garment.
And touched what?
The hem of his garment.
She touched the hem of his garment, right? Why would she do that? Because she believed that it was what? Healing in his wings, right? Now, the crazy thing about this, I was talking about this morning with my eyes, right? That Malachi chapter 4 is a prophecy of something future down the line, right? But she believed when she seen the sun that if she just touched the hem of his garment, that what was going to happen? That she would be healed. What's that called? For how long? 12 years? I was going through what I was going through for about 6 months. She was going through what she was going through for 12 years. The children of Israel was in the wilderness for how long? 40 years. We don't got no excuse. Read on, huh?
For she said within herself.
Where?
Within herself.
She said it out loud.
Within herself.
She ain't say, hey man, you supposed to be healing me, man. All right. She ain't do none of that. She said within herself that what?
For she said within herself, if I may but touch his garment, I shall be whole.
If I just touch it, I'm gonna be made whole. She said this inside of herself, right? What happened?
But Yeshua turned him about, and when he saw her, he said, daughter, be of good comfort. Your faith have made you whole. And the woman was made whole from that hour.
So from that time on, she was made whole. She was brought back into being a regular person. Because for the last 12 years, she was going through something that was not normal. Right? Now, it was because of what she read in Malachi that made her even go and touch his garment. So, for my people that don't really study, for my people that don't really pay attention to what's in this word, if you were that woman and you study how you study right now, would you have known to touch his garment? That's a personal question. That's not something that you got to answer. Would you have known, just looking at how you study, how you go through your book, how you build your relationship with the Most High, because this is him, right? Would you have known to touch the hem of his garment? You get what I'm saying? Because in the book of Joshua, he told us to read how long? Or what did he tell us? How did he tell us to read? Meditate day and night, right? Before that, he said, be of good courage and meditate in this word day and night. So if you wasn't doing that, if she wasn't doing that for the past 12 years, she would have missed her opportunity. That's deep. The protection is in here. You got to be able to see what you. If you got an insurance company, right? Y'all ever seen that commercial? They was like, well, I have insurance, right? My house, my AC went out, and this went out, and the insurance company was like, oh, you're not covered for that. Oh, you're not covered for that. Oh, you're not covered for that. Well, what am I covered for? It's like the zombie apocalypse. You're covered for that, right? So, had you just read what your contract said, would you have to go in there and tell them what you was covered for now? Nope. So your protection, your coverage is right here. It's right here. Your whole plan. The plan that your forefather signed you up for is right here. You can't get rid of this insurance policy. The only thing is are you going to read through it and fulfill it? Because in a contract under house insurance, if you burn your house up on purpose, they're not going to give you your claim, right? They ain't going to, oh yeah, man, you know, I just wanted some bread, man, so I set a torch in that mud. Are they going to give you that payout for your house? No. Right? So if you going in there and you going in this insurance policy and you doing things that put you outside of the protection, you think he going to give it to you? Absolutely not. Right? What's a way that will surely, I won't say that. What's one thing that, because we're talking about YAH's protection, right? Protecting you from yourself. What's one thing that you can do to protect yourself, to keep yourself under YAH's protection? What's one thing you can do? Keep faith, right? What's another thing you can do? Praying. Okay. What else? Huh? Keeping the laws, right? It's something else that we can't put our finger on. It's not something that we went over yet, that we about to go over. What's another thing? I'll rephrase the question. What can hinder you in your walk outside of keeping the commandments, outside of distraction? Say that again. Distraction. What type of distraction? Carnal distractions. Can anybody give me a carnal distraction? Not yourself. Say that one more time. Other people, right? So whether it's your friends, a woman, we've seen that distraction a whole bunch of times up in here, right? What do you have to do to keep yourself inside of the protection? Matter of fact, hold on one second. Get Matthew chapter 13. Let's see something right quick. Matthew chapter 13 and pick it up at verse 47.
Matthew 13 and 47. Again, the kingdom of Shamaim is like unto a net that was cast into the sea and gathered of every kind, which when it was full, they drew to shore and sat down and gathered the good into the vessels, but cast the bad away. So shall it be at the end of the world. The Malachim shall come forth and sever the wicked from among the just.
He said he's going to come forth and do what?
And sever the wicked from among the just.
One more time.
And sever the wicked from among the just.
He's going to sever the wicked from amongst the just. Right? So you in your own control, your own power, what can you do to stay away from temptation, damnation. What can you do? What's in your power? Stay away from certain people, certain situations. Right? Get number 16, verse 21. Start at verse 20.
The book of Numbers, chapter 16 and verse 20. And Yahuwah spake unto Moshe and Aharon, saying, separate yourselves from among this congregation.
What did he say, do?
Separate yourselves from among this congregation.
Separate yourself from this congregation. Why?
That I may consume them in a moment.
And he may do what?
That I may consume them in a moment.
What would have happened if they didn't separate themselves? They'd have been a part of the destruction. The protection is the command that he gave you. I told you to get away from them. Right? But if you yourself just can't seem to pull yourself away from situations that you know is not good for you, you're going to end up with the same destruction. Get 1 Corinthians chapter 15. Verse 33.
1 Corinthians 15 and 33. Be not deceived. Evil communication corrupt good manners.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Y'all heard that one before? What that mean? Absolutely. Right? You can be influenced by people that you're around. You ever been around people that don't use, that use swear words, right? And they use them so much that even though you don't want to, it kind of just rub off on you. Huh?
Not me.
Not you. I ain't talking about you. None of y'all. All right? These people's mannerisms rub off on you because you're around it so much. Right? So these people can in turn speak badly on the gospel because of the things that you're now doing that's congruent to what they do. Right? So when y'all come to consume the evildoers or the wicked and all of these different type of things, all these different type of people, and you around them, what happened? Better yet, Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, right? What did he do with these men? What did he allow to happen to these men? Let them be where? Thrown in the furnace, right? Now, did they go on their own free will? Did they go on their own free will?
No.
No? They went on their own free will. He said, look, bow to me, or you got to go on the fight. Oh, well, I guess I'm going in the fire, right? When they got in there and the door was open and the door got shut, who got killed? The people that walked them in and escorted them in there, right? It was a separation, right? When Korah and his band of people got killed, it was a separation. When the children of Israel went through the Red Sea and the Egyptians were behind them, Yah made the sea a what? A separation. But they had to choose to leave from Egypt first so they wouldn't be a part of what got consumed. That makes sense? They had to look at this water that's on the sides in front of them and say, okay, I'm going to walk through or stay there and get killed with the rest of the Egyptians. Either or, Psalms 1 and 1. Either or. Right? Let's get that. Psalms 1 and 1. Cole, you get Proverbs 13 and 20.
Book of Psalms, chapter 1 and verse 1. Increases the man that walks not in the counsel of the ungodly.
He said, increases the man that walk not in the counsel of the ungodly. Because the ungodly, for all intents and purposes, are not inside of the protection of the Most High. Right? Read.
Nor stands in the way of sinners,
Uh-huh.
nor sits in the seat of the scornful.
Yeah.
But his delight is in the law of Yahuwah.
He said you're supposed to love that wisdom. Love his commandments, right? Read.
And in his law does he meditate day and night.
In his law, he do what now?
Does meditate day and night.
He going over his insurance policy. This righteous man. Right? Proverbs 13 and 20.
Proverbs 13 and 20. He that walketh with wise men.
He that do what?
That walketh with wise men.
Y'all ever heard if you're around millionaires, your mind starts to become like them? Right? If you're around people that have aspiring goals, you'll actually get to that level. But if you're around people that's down here, that's on the bottom of the barrel, that's where you're going to stay. Is that fact or fiction? That's a fact. It says it's insanity to do the same thing over and over and over and over again, and you don't want to. You expect different results, right? So if you're around people or around things that's going to influence you to do contrary to what you're supposed to do, you outside of the protection. Now, if you can hold your own, out of your business, right? What was that? That was Proverbs 13, 20. Read that one more time, Mark.
Proverbs 13 and 20. He that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a company of fools shall be destroyed.
But a company of fools shall do what?
Be destroyed.
They're going to be destroyed without a shadow of a doubt. All right? We're about to finish up. Get 2 Thessalonians chapter 3 again. Start at verse 3. This is where we started off at. Oh, you get James chapter 4, verse 1. James chapter 4, verse 1. Oh, I'm tripping. I'm sorry. You get James 4. You get 2 Thessalonians 3 and 3. Go to 2 Thessalonians 3 and 3 right quick, y'all. My bad. 3 and 3.
But the master is faithful, who shall establish you.
Matter of fact, read at verse 1.
Verse 1. Finally, brethren, pray for us that the word of Yahuwah may have free course and be esteemed.
How many of y'all pray for y'all brothers around y'all? Okay. That's good. Go ahead.
Even as it is with you. And when we may be delivered from unreasonable and wicked men, for all men have not faith.
Wait. Read that verse 2 again.
And that we may be delivered from unreasonable and wicked men.
For they what?
For all men have not faith.
Even the people that say that they got faith ain't really got faith. Not all of them. So what happens when you're around somebody that say that they faithful, they got faith, but every situation that they get put in, they not showing that faith. What is that going to do if you constantly around them? It's going to rub off on you. Deuteronomy chapter 20 was talking about going to war, right? I'm going to read that right quick. I'm going to read that. Deuteronomy chapter 20. verse 1, it says, when you go out to battle against your enemies and see horses and chariots and people more than you, be not afraid of them. And we hear a story like that earlier. All right. It says, for Yahuwah your Elohim is with you, which brought you up out of the land of Egypt. And it shall be, when you are come near unto battle, that the priest shall approach and speak unto the people, and shall say unto them, hear, O house of Israel, you approach this day unto battle against your enemies. Let not your hearts faint, and fear not, and do not tremble, neither be you terrified because of them. For Yahuwah your Elohim is he that do what? Go with you to fight for you against your enemies, to save you. All right? It says, and the officer shall speak unto the people, saying, what man is there that hath built a new house and have not dedicated it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle and another man dedicate it, right? So he's talking about you going out to battle. If you ain't handled this, if you ain't handled that, if you ain't handled this, if you ain't handled that, go back home. Why would he tell men to do this? It's to be a distraction when you in battle, right? Now, is the distraction, how can I put it like this? Yah says that he gonna go out to battle for you, right? You fighting in the battle, but he says that he's the one who's battling for you. So even though you gotta show up and you gotta act accordingly, what Yolanda Adams say? This battle ain't yours. Look at y'all. Look at y'all. Look at y'all. Everybody in here know what that woman said on that song. Look at y'all. Don't make no sense, man. Don't make no sense. I didn't actually listen to that song. I didn't listen to that. It stuck with me from a kid, though. I knew about it. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. Right? She said, this battle ain't yours. Right? Vengeance is for who? Mine. Vengeance is his. So when we talking about those mountains that you got to move with the faith, who actually moving the mountain? It's him. All he needs you to do is be instead and do it. Right? He just needs you to make sure you represent on your end. So when he talking about going to war against your enemies, you can look at the obstacles in your life right now as an enemy. Right? You still got to be in the fight. You can't give up. Let's see what he's saying. Because we talking about being around people that ain't got no faith. Because Paul just mentioned and said that pray that we be delivered from unreasonable men, for all men don't have faith, right? Verse 8 says this, and the officer shall speak further unto the people, and they shall say, what man is there that is fearful and faint-hearted? Let him go and return into his house. Let his brethren's heart, lest his brethren's heart faint, as well as his heart. That's important. If you scared, go home. Not go to church. Well, I mean, either way, however you want to look at it. If you scared, go home. Because if you gonna come and you gonna fight in this war, and you afraid, and you so afraid that you make this guy afraid, and this guy afraid, and he make the next guy afraid, you gonna win or you gonna lose that battle? You're gonna lose. Remember, y'all fighting for you. So if you scared when he fighting for you, ain't no reason for him to even be there. You gotta let on your own, dog. Right? What I'm here for? Yeah, you're gonna lose by yourself. You ain't gonna lose with me. When Joshua and the children of Israel was going to fight up against the people of the land of Canaan, and they went outside of Yahuwah's command not to take nothing from the land, y'all said, look, man, I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm the one going out here fighting these battles for you. I'm the one making sure you leave out and come back with the same amount of men as it was that you left out to go to war with. So since you want to go against what I told you to do, you can go out there and die on your own. That's essentially what he's telling you and I. He created this world. He put us in this world. He the one who's going to fight the battles of those that fear, respect, and honor him. Right? So let's go back to that Thessalonians chapter 3. Let's read from that spot. We talking about separating, right? Let's see if the apostles were saying something close to this, right? 3 and 2 again.
2 Thessalonians chapter 3 and 2. And that we may be delivered from unreasonable and wicked men. For all men have not faith. But Yahuwah is faithful, who shall establish you and keep you from evil. And when we have confidence in Yahuwah touching you, that you both do and will do things which we command you.
So this is that same thing like in the beginning, like we was talking about last week, right? Y'all created the garden, right? He placed a man in there to keep and protect the garden, the same thing that he was doing over the man. When he gave him the woman, he was expecting him to teach for her to guard herself, right? The whole nine, it's a trickle effect, right? So he says that when we have confidence in the master, when it comes to you, you'll have that same confidence in doing the things which we asked y'all to do, right? It's a trickle down effect. Read on though. What else he say?
Verse 5. And Yahuwah direct your hearts into the love of Elohim and into the patient waiting for Hamashiach.
Into the what now?
Patient waiting for Hamashiach.
Dang, he ain't got here yet. I can't wait till he get here. We already know that's a no-no. Keep reading.
Now we command you, brethren, in the name of our master, Yeshua Hamashiach, that you withdraw yourselves.
That you do what?
That you withdraw yourselves.
What that mean? What it mean when you gonna make a withdrawal? Pull yourself out, right? That you withdraw yourself from who?
From every brother that walks disorderly.
That walk what?
Disorderly.
So when he say disorderly, what do you think he mean? Not law, not in the law, right? So this not just saying it's over here in Psalms, right? He telling you it's over here. He said that you withdraw yourself from what?
From every brother that walks disorderly, and not after the tradition which he received of us.
For what?
For yourselves know how you ought to follow us. For we behave not ourselves disorderly among you, neither that we eat any man's bread for nothing, but wrought with labor and travail night and day, that we might not be chargeable to any of you, not because we have not power, but to make ourselves an example unto you to follow us.
Now, why would he say that? Where did he get that from? Oh, no man, anything? Yeah. But where did he get that from? Remember, he says, when we have confidence in Mashiach, as to touching in you, when it comes to you, that you will have that same confidence in doing what you got to do, right? But he says that y'all know that y'all can follow us because we leaving an example. Where did he get that from? Where is he getting the example from to say, follow us because we the example? From Mashiach, right? He the one who walked in was the example. So now when they got the confidence in him, they walk as an example. So now we look at them as the example. And when we walking around here, guess what people supposed to be able to look at us as the example. But if we walking around and doing the things that the disorderly are doing, if we walking around doing the things that the people that are ungodly are doing, exactly. Who the example? They are. And then when you try to flip the script on them, oh man, you know, I can't do this because y'all said, man, if you don't go, man, you've been over here blase the whole time, man. I'm trying to get religious so we know. Right? Ah, man, that true stuff garbage, man. You over here, bro, you over here every night, bro. What you talking about? Right? What you going to Sabbath class for, man? You might well come to church with me. You do everything I do. Right? Don't be that person that distort the gospel. Don't be that example. Don't be that person that say, well, supposed to keep the Sabbath, but I work on the Shabbat. You know what I'm saying? I mean, every man got to eat, man. It's safe if you don't take care of your family, right? Don't be that guy. Don't be that Romans 2:2. If you don't know what Romans 2:2 is saying, I suggest you go and read it. Right? So that's one way you can actually save yourself from yourself. James 4:1. We're going to close out, man.
James chapter 4 and verse 1. From whence come wars and fightings among you?
So he said, where is these wars and this fighting coming from amongst y'all? Read.
Come they not hence, even of your lust that war in your members?
He said, don't this come from you yourself? The stuff that y'all fighting over, the stuff that's causing division, the stuff that's causing a war in between what y'all got going on, it's coming from you. You know how people like to say a lot of times, man, it's just Ha Shaitan, man. You know what I'm saying? Ha Shaitan doing this, Ha Shaitan doing that, man. No, bro. Right. You say your middle name, Ha Shaitan. It's you. Read that one more time.
From whence come wars and fightings among you? Come they not hence, even of your lust that war in your members? You lust and have not. You kill and desire to have and cannot obtain. Ye faith and war.
You fight and war.
You fight and war. Yet ye have not, because ye ask not. You ask and receive not, because you ask amiss, that ye may consume it upon your lust.
Upon your what?
Upon your lust.
Upon your lust. Right? All of this stuff that's going on between y'all is because you doing this based on your own lust. This don't have nothing to do with the Most High. He can't protect you from something that you're doing to yourself. Right? If you got a family member that's a drug addict, can you protect them from doing drugs? Huh? Matter of fact, if you straitjacket your family member, can you protect them from doing drugs? Yes or no? You can? Until they got to go use the bathroom. If a person want to do drugs, if a person want to do whatever you want to do, you have the option to do. Ain't no stopping. And the best part about the Most High is he ain't here to say, no, man, go. I'm gonna put. No, he's not that type of power. You have the option to do whatever you want to do. But you gotta make the right decision. Just like at a job, right? Matter of fact, with the new job I got, right? We got our own trucks. We get to take our trucks home. We get to make our own lunches. We basically create our own schedule to a certain degree, right? It's what I call too much freedom at a job. The reason why I say that is because the people that it's in them to abuse the power, do it. And when they abuse the power, they get fired. It's the same thing with the Most High. I told you the do's, I told you the don'ts. You have the option to choose what you want to do. Right? Read Psalm 17 and 8 again.
Book of Psalms, chapter 17 and verse 8. Keep me as the apple of the eye. Hide me under the shadow of your wings. From the wicked that oppress me, from my deadly enemies.
So he says, protect me, put me in the shadow of your wing. We're going to close out with Revelation chapter 12. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 10.
Revelations chapter 12 and verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in Shamaim, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our Elohim and the power of his Hamashiach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our Elohim day and night.
What happened?
And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony.
So did they do it themselves, or did Yah do it? Right? It took them to be there in the stead, but he the one who did the work. Read.
And they loved not their lives unto death. Therefore rejoice, you Shamaim, and you that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knows that he hath but a short time. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. And to the woman were given 2 wings.
We're given what?
2 wings.
We're given what?
2 wings.
She was given 2 wings. Read.
Of a great eagle, that she may fly into the wilderness.
Same thing that happened before, right? When he says, I put you on those eagle's wings and put you into the wilderness. We went into the wilderness 40 years, right? Read.
Into her place, where she is nourished for a time and times and a half times from the face of the serpent.
From the face of the serpent. Completely inside of the protection of the Most High. But why is that? Verse 17.
Verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed.
Which did what?
Which keep the commandments of Elohim and have the testimony of Yeshua HaMashiach.
That's key. If you want to be in safety on those wings, you want to be in the shadow of his protection, you got to make sure that you're keeping the commandments. You got to make sure that you're putting yourself in the right places at the right times and not in the wrong places at the wrong times. You got to make sure that the people that are around you are going to help uplift you in your walk and not bring you down. You got to make sure that you're around the people that's going to help you in getting towards the kingdom, not people that's going to pull you away from it. Because when they pulling you away from those things that's conducive to making it into the kingdom, they're pulling you outside of the protection of the Most High. With that, I'll say shalom. Questions, comments, concerns? Anything?
I just want to comment on what I'm speaking on the people wrong stuff on, the trees and so forth. It's kind of funny. You kind of just picky, going along, going slow, doing kind of what everybody else is doing. We're not even doing so much what everybody else is doing. Kind of condoning it. It's getting wild.
Say that, what you say? You said condoning it?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Right?
But they almost can't wait to call your history. You know what I mean? Like they don't say nothing. They sit back, watch it. You know what I mean? And everything's all good, but in a minute, then you kind of reject it. Or so you want to be a part of it, or that's not really how you don't rock like that. They can't wait to call your history.
It's the ace card.
You know what I mean? Like they thought, got it.
Right. That's the ace card. They hold it. Waiting to play it. What you say? You said I can't do what? You've been doing this with me the whole time.
Right.
You've been around me every time. Right? Don't do it. Just don't do it.
Some of it's a joke. You know what I mean? They might come to you with some call to be in front of you. You laugh, whatever.
Right. Exactly.
And they may not even come up then. Later on, they're like, okay.
Yeah, you laughed at that joke I said. Yep. Anything on the chat? Here's one. One moment, we're trying to see the stuff in the chat. Come on, let me get in there. See the over there?
Malachi 4 says son and not son. Please clarify.
Malachi 4 says son and not son. All right. Malachi chapter 4 and verse 2. Let's get it. One moment. All right, y'all. We got a couple different things we're gonna show about this thing here. Go to the Malachi chapter 4, verse 2. Read that verse 1 down to that verse 3, 4, whatever it is. All right, Malachi chapter 4 and verse 1. For behold, the day come that shall burn as an oven. All the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that come shall burn them up, saith Yahuwah of hosts. So he says, and the day come that shall burn them up. So it's saying the day is going to burn them up, right? It didn't say the day shall come when they shall be burned up. Y'all see that? It says the day shall come and shall what? Burn them up, saith Yahuwah of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness, so this day that's going to burn them up. Down here it's saying that if you fear his name, that this Son right? S-U-N, of righteousness, arise with healing in his wings, right? And you shall go forth and grow up as cows in the stall, right? Now, we're going to go to 2 Peter chapter 1. I believe it's verse 19. 2 Peter 1. We can actually start up. Second Peter chapter 1 and verse I started verse 17. It says, for he received from Elohim the Father honor and esteem, when there came such a voice to him from the excellent esteem. This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. And this voice, which came from Shamaim, we heard when we were with him in the Kodesh Mount. We also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto you do well that you take heed, as a light that shines in a dark place, until the day dawn and the day star arise in your hearts. Now, you look at that, you're like, what is he talking about, right? It says, and the day star arise in your heart, right? Let's go over here to Revelation chapter 22. Because everything got to go back before the New Testament. So we're going to get back there too. Revelation chapter 22 and verse we're going to start at verse 16. It says, I have sent my Malachim to testify unto you these things in the congregations. For I am the root and the offspring of David and the bright and morning star. So what is the morning star? But what is it? What is the morning star? What is the bright morning star? The sun, right? So when we look at Malachi chapter 4, it says the son of righteousness, right? Let's look at Job chapter 38. Job chapter 38. And verse 5. We'll start at verse 5. It says, who have laid the measures thereof, if you know, or who have stretched the line upon it? Whereupon are the foundations thereof fastened? Or who laid the cornerstone thereof? When the morning stars sang together. Y'all see that? So these are what? What are these morning stars? Malachim, right? When the morning stars sang together and all the sons of Elohim shouted for joy. But the distinction that was made in Malachi chapter 4 said the son of what? The son of righteousness. Right? So when we're looking at this, we're looking at it in a prophetic type of way when it's talking about the S-U-N, the son. But when we look at the track record of what it's talking about, it's speaking about this morning star, right? What Psalms 84 and 11. Psalms 84 and 11 reads this.
Watch it.
For Yahuwah Elohim is a sun, S-U-N, and shield. Yahuwah will give grace and esteem. No good thing will he withhold from them that walk uprightly. That's as clear as day. Metaphor. Right?
All right. Plus, it's like you said, it's a metaphor with this. So, what day did if we look at the world in 7,000 years, right? A day being 1,000 years, right? What day did Mashiach come on the scene? No, I mean, according to when he actually came as a man. He came in the 4,000th year, right? That would be the what of the week?
Fourth day.
The fourth day, right? Middle of the week. When was the sun created?
Fourth day.
The fourth day, right? So this thing right here is showing us judgment, right? That he's gonna bring judgment. Now let's see somebody's name that means like the sun. Samson. Let's go. Samson's name is 8123. Samson, like the sun. What tribe did Samson come from? Dan. What is Dan supposed to do? They're the judges, right? So all of this is showing in a metaphorical way that Mashiach was going to rise like the sun, be created, come into the world on the fourth day. He, like the sun, he told you himself, he says, I'm the what of the world?
Light of the world.
I'm the light of the world, right? So all of this, like he said, it's a metaphor to show what he was going to actually come to do, to bring this judgment, because he is like Samson in a way with his sun. His face was shining like what?
The sun.
The sun. So it's kind of like he said, it's just a metaphor to show you him. He's like the sun.
Everybody cool with that? Everybody good? Everybody confused still? Okay.
So even in this definition of Samson's name, origin from 8121, the sun.
Spoke from the heart. No other questions? All right, Elder Martin is gonna take us out with a song.
Look at it.
And,
On the spot.
So we can close out this beautiful service.
Okay, I got it.
You got it?
I got one. I had what about speakers? You know, since we opened it and read it out, I'm gonna ask Steve to come and help me out.
You gonna ask me to come and help you out, or you gonna put him on the spot?
Oh yeah, well, we talked about this, so he beat
I'm
He about ready.
I'm standing right here.
He about ready. But the song is kind of simple. It's kind of cool too.
Come on, y'all. We're about to get into some praise and worship. Let's go ahead.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start off, give you an example, and then what I'm gonna do, I might point at somebody, and you're gonna have to take over where I left off.
Uh-oh.
Y'all got that?
Oh, man.
Y'all got that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Oh, man.
The man said he gonna have to take over.
All right.
Solo.
The song starts out saying,
All right, hold it down, y'all.
there's something you can't take it away. Y'all say, oh, I've got something you can't take it away. Oh, something. You can't take it away. And I'll say, I got Messiah, and you can't take it away. Okay, somebody else is gonna say, okay, I'll do it again. I got something, and you can't take it away. Oh, I got something. You ready, B? You can't take it away. Oh, I got something, and you can't take it away. I got my brother B, and you can't take it away. We're not going to let Satan take it. We're going to keep him. I got something, and you can't take it away. Oh, I got something, and you can't take it away. Oh, got something, and you can't take it away. I got my kids, and you can't take it away. All right?
So we're gonna go around the room like that?
Oh.
I got something. We're gonna use you first. You can't take it away. Oh, I got something, and you can't take it away. Oh, I got something, and you can't take it away. What you got, Travis? I got Yahuwah, and you can't take it away. Oh, I got something, very quiet. You can't take it away. Oh, I got something, and you can't take it away. Oh, I got something, and you can't take it away. Oh, I got my family, and you can't take it away. Oh, I got something, and you can't take it away. Oh, I got my family, and you can't take it away. Oh, I got my family, and you can't take it away. I got my family, and you can't take it away. I said, I got to use it. He took your wood already.
Hey, let's go ahead and pray out, y'all. Let's go ahead and pray out.
I seen that the wheels was turning. Hey, Maccabee. Hey, Mac, you're gonna be up here with us next week.
You gotta sing, man.
You're gonna be up here singing with us next week. Oh, yeah, you gotta hit the dope. Hey, you know we said it. You know we said if you don't sing, you gotta hit the dope.
I can't even explain how nervous I just was.
Hey, you never said that ever.
Now,
He took it there. I didn't know what to say. I'm like, I always say, she gonna get mad. I always say,
Go ahead.
Hold it down, y'all.
Annie's Breaker, Sister Dare, Daisy, Berry, and Link Davis.
Link, Daisy, and Anise.
And Anise, yes.
Okay.
And I got my Jenny.
Jenny. Father, Yah, we come before you right now, praying and asking, Father, that you would just look upon us, Father. Remove anything that is unlike you, Father. Father, allow us to be vessels, Father, for your word to flow through, Father, for healing to flow through, Father, for power to flow through, Father, for strength to flow through right now, Father, even as we speak, Father. We know that you are capable of all things, Father. We believe truly with all our heart, Father, and we doubt nothing, that you can do all things, Father, that we can do all things through you and through your Son who strengthens us, Father. Yeah. We thank you for the blood that was shed, Father, on the stake so that we can be reconciled back unto you, Father, for the remission of our transgressions, Father. We pray, Father, that you would just continue to walk with us, Father. Lead us and guide us down that straight and narrow path. Be a light unto our path, Father. Order our steps, Father, that we may be like you, Father. That we may continue, Father, to walk that straight and narrow path, being diligent unto your word, being obedient unto your commandments, Father. We know right now, and we believe that all things can be done, that healing can be done, Father. We pray a special prayer, Father, for those in need, Father, for Jenny, for Link, for Daisy, for Anise, these people who are in need, whose names were called upon, Father, that were seen by your children, Father, that need something right now in the way of healing, Father, be it physically, mentally, and emotionally, Father, whatever it is, whatever it takes, Father, that will make them whole. We pray first that you would give them the strength in their faith, Father, to believe that you can do these things, Father. And secondly, that we believe that you can do these things. We know that all things can be done through you, Father. We pray and ask, Father, that you would just lift them up, Father, strengthen them, make them whole, Father. Right now, Father, even as we stand on one accord in unison, Father, asking that your Ruach, Father, would allow their hearts and minds to be open and receive your word, Father. All these things, Father, we pray and we give thanks. So be it.
So be it.
Avinu Shabbat Shemayim.
Avinu Shabbat Shemayim.
Ikadosh.
Ikadosh.
Shenka.
Shenka.
Tabo.
Tabo.
Makutka.
Makutka.
Yeaseh.
Yeaseh.
Ratsonka.
Ratsonka.
Barek.
Barek.
Kasher.
Kasher.
Nasha.
Nasha.
Bashemayim.
Bashemayim.
Tain Lanu.
Tain Lanu.
Hayon.
Hayon.
Likin.
Likin.
Hikadu.
Hikadu.
Usla.
Usla.
Lanu.
Lanu.
Eight.
Eight.
Ashmatenu.
Ashmatenu.
Kasher.
Kasher.
Sukin.
Sukin.
Anaknu.
Anaknu.
Lasher.
Lasher.
Ashmu.
Ashmu.
Lanu.
Lanu.
Wa'ah.
Wa'ah.
Tabinu.
Tabinu.
Lede.
Lede.
Masa.
Masa.
Ki.
Ki.
In. Hasalanu.
Hasalanu.
Min. Ra.
Ra.
Ki.
Ki.
Laka.
Laka.
Haman Laka.
Haman Laka.
Waha Gibora.
Waha Gibora.
Wahati Parek.
Wahati Parek.
Lomen.
Lomen.
Ulamin.
Ulamin.
So be it.
So be it. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Man, I cannot believe that. I'm nervous already.
That's what put him a lot.
I got